Good motherfucking afternoon. It is Wednesday, February 15th, 2023. I am Arbitrary, a streamer of no particular significance. Welcome to the stream. Alright, one day we'll fix that. Alright, hello, good afternoon. Or rather evening. It is pretty late over here. It's like 5:53, goddamn. Let me make sure everything's working, audio's good. Yep. Alright, bet. Alright, cool. So, feeling really good today. This should be a, I'm hoping for this to be a pretty energetic stream. I want to dive into, I've been streaming really late. My camera's good. I fixed it. I've been streaming really late since I started coming back, and it has been taking a lot more energy out of me than I thought it might. So I want to give a shot to streaming a little bit earlier tonight. This is probably going to be the ideal time that I try to stay online when I get home from work and all that, at least for the time being. So I'm going to hope to try to maximize just whatever I can get out of this time slot day by day. So that might mean some days I might be streaming. Some days I might just dedicate the time to editing so I can get videos out. That's probably going to be more important until I get my audience up a bit more. And this might take a while. I may alternate depending on videos I want to get done. Depending if we have a really good stream highlight, then I'm going to want to take a lot of time to edit that down and just focus on that. So consider my schedule to be inconsistent. We'll figure out some things to solidify that as we grow. But all that said, welcome. It is really good to be here. Apologies in advance for my lighting. I've had this light, just a fucking little ring light. Like I'm not even sure it would do too much, but I do want to try it. But all of my old lighting equipment is elsewhere. I don't even know where at the moment. So I'm going to be figuring that out and navigating lighting here for a little while. So apologies for that. But I hope that adjusting screens and whatnot as I go along should at least help get a bit more light on my face. And I've done this later at night too, so I should even have that problem as consistently. We'll find out. But all right, so I'm going to get right into it. Let's share a little updated version of the stream layout. So this is not going to be what this ends up being finally, but I'm proud to say that it isn't nothing. And it's not totally butt ugly. It'll look better with the games on and all that. Still things to tweak, but yeah, we'll see what's up. So let's get right into this video. And I'm actually going to set up. I should have done this before I went live, but I'm actually going to set up the game I'm going to be playing on the side as well. Also, this. Oh, okay. All right, cool. All right. So give me this. I guess what should I play? I was playing Thai before. I don't feel like opening that. And having to reset all the settings and fuck the whole stream up. Actually, no. I fixed that problem. Thai or I was actually thinking about playing Kingdom Hearts, but I don't quite remember. Actually, wait, could I check it? I want to do the Kingdom Hearts 2 randomizer. Maybe a little bit. But I am. Yeah, I forget where I put. Oh wait, no, that's it right there. I may actually do that instead. Yeah, that seems like more fun. That seems like more fun than Thai. Are there any other games that I want to play with the controller though? Maybe I should at least pull up the YouTube screen so this doesn't look quite as ugly on the VOD. Here, let me set this up. You vote KH? No, really. I wondered what that would be. Give me a second. I'll open KH. Let me just get the stream set up or the video set up. YouTube chat is locked. Viewer count, subscribers. Where you at? Firefox. Okay. Dude, I was watching or playing Overwatch lately, and there was a Valentine's Day event where you get Cupid Hanzo, and there's like a sound effect that plays when you shoot the Dragon Strike, and it plays like this saxophone, like sexy ass song as it goes. It's so fucking sick. And they actually made a little visual novel, a little like fucking dating sim to coincide with the game as part of the event. It's actually been a really fun event. That game is doing pretty well right now. Okay. Let's get KH open. Actually, could I? Okay. I mean, no, that's not big enough. All right, we'll figure this out. Good thing there's only one viewer in here. Otherwise, I'd look like a square. Changing up my settings. All right, I don't even know what seed I have open. And I kind of don't care. Let's just pull it up. Oh, dude. Oh, I hit build and run. I hit fucking build and run. I didn't do just run. Oh, well. I guess we're getting a new seed. And that's fine. Game should be opening any second. Unless racism strikes again. Maybe I can keep something playing in the meantime. Let's do... No, that's copyright. Let's do, yeah. Jesus. Okay, I need to. Alright, let's move that down. Sorry, Kingdom Hearts is taking a bit too long to open. I'm getting it, it's just Epic Games bullshit. Really? All this shit? Yeah, no, I can't do that on here. Hold on. Let's hide that. All this for a fucking Disney game. Anytime I try to do something on a whim. What is happening? Okay. Oh wait, no, I'm dumb. Okay, I can do it this way. Yeah, let's go back to loading for a bit. There we fucking go. God damn. Dog, I was fighting for my fucking life trying to get this window to actually be a window and not full screen. All right. I actually want to make this a little bigger. Not that big. All right. The game will look fine. All right, let's pull up Sakurai again. So finicky, fucking for real, dude. Where is my cursor? Where is my cursor? All right, cool. Man, what is happening? All right. That's good. That's good. Let me just open this. Bring you down. All right. Now, at long last. Niggas wonder why I don't stream. It's because this shit is stressful. God damn. Doing it with a fucking presentation. I know what I'll do. I will move you up. Bro, that's so ugly. That's so sinfully ugly. Holy shit. Actually, no, the purpose of this is to be small. Sakurai is the focus, so I don't care. All right, yeah, no, we're good. And then... yeah, I'm gonna need to, I'm going to need to dox-proof the fuck out of myself in the very near future because I've had some slips. All right. Dope. And then I just want to make sure I can see chat. Let's do... all right, cool. That works. That actually works a lot better. I'm going to keep that permanently. Wow. Come on. Just a little more. All right, you know what? This will have to do. All right. Yep, I don't need none of that. I don't need literally any of this. Bro, why is this app so racist? I just want to see my chat. There we go. Holy fuck. All right. God. Damn it. All right, cool. Game running. Let me tweak this audio so that Sora can shut the fuck up. All right, it should... right? I guess we'll see in a second. Crit. Yeah. All right. This should shut up, right? No, it's not shutting up. Why won't it shut up? Streamlabs chat is always something I was losing my mind over. Yeah. It's pretty bad. Also, why can't I turn... Oh, wait, no. I don't need to. Hold on. Here, let me... You can't hear KH? Okay, good. The intention is for you not to be able to hear it. All right. That's fine. Okay. And then let me drag this over. Okay. All right. I think this works. We're just going to assume this works. Okay. Now we can play the fucking video. Here we go.
ゲーム作りは理屈が利かないコンピューターを相手にします。また、甚大な人的リソースを費やします。当然、やりたいこととできることには矛盾が起こります。プランナー、つまり仕様をまとめる人に任せ仕様書が上がってくるとき、開発者に都合がよく、遊び手には不親切なものが出てくることが多々あります。もちろん、効率化とのバランスが良い場合もありますが、ただただ不親切であったりとか、自らあるいは制作側の都合を優先されすぎているとか、こんな時によく口に出す言葉があります。それ、プレイヤーに事情を説明して回るつもりなの。遊び手にとっては、作り手の都合など知ったことではありません。遊んでいて良いのか悪いのか。
So, already, that's something I do want to unpack a little bit. So there was actually a point a long time ago, back in college, where I actually took I took 2 classes on game design. I took one that was basically, I remember it being just kind of a loose history of the gaming industry in America, well, in general. And then the second one was an intro to game design. And I learned what these design documents look like, and like how we're supposed to format them to both reach like the corporate audience you're trying to present the game to, and reach the audience that it's being made for, like, and actually reach the intended players. And Sakurai's gonna go into this in a bit, I'm sure, but the that language between the two is really interesting, because at least in the way that I was shown, and at least in what I had to replicate in like doing projects on it, it's straddling a line. Like, you have to be able to communicate it in a corporate way, while also just making it sound cool to the player in that exact same presentation. And that's something that's like really interesting to me, because it says a lot about this actually goes into a lot of things in a broader sense. It says a lot about what the corporation at like the highest level, the ones that are producing the video game product, it says a lot about what they recognize as is appealing according to their audience. And it also says that they can communicate to the audience in a way that the audience will get, while also still handling their businessy stuff. In other words, they can code switch. Like, they can communicate messages. They can sell a game to you by literally fucking how do you do fellow kidsing? Like, it's not that, because they're actually good at the communication, but that is basically what they're doing. They're trying to sell this game in a way that is going to appeal to what is popularized in games, while also making sense. And like, that sounds really simple. Like, of course you want your game presentation to make sense and sound cool, but I think there's an extra layer that goes into it when you're looking at it from a design perspective. It's not just a matter of I'm picking up a box and deciding, how do I want to spend my next 2 hours. It's a matter of how can I get millions of people to play this game for 2 hours, or even just a couple of thousand if that's your goal. Trying to think about the approach to this from that angle versus I just want to make something cool is a wildly just different approach. Like, that is a really powerful change in the angle from which you're attacking the conversation. And I just think that's really fucking cool.
まあもちろん0と1で決められるものでもないけれど、少なくとも制作側の事情なんて加味されません。知ったことではないですよね。制作者だって何かのゲームなどの一ユーザーだから自分が遊んだ時にどう思うのかっていうのは分かるはず。だけど制作側に立つとクリアすべき障害が多く、そこから意識が離れてしまうこともあります。すべて遊び手ベースの視点を持つことが大事です。開発に問題が出るのは仕方がないし、変えられないこともあります。好みも十人十色だからどれが正解とも言い切れないかもしれません。他に方法がないことも、技術的な壁にぶつかることもしょっちゅうです。しかし、都合の良さを優先する最大の相手は遊び手、お客さんに他ありません。
True.
不親切に思えたら他の手を使えないか検討してみましょう。これは企画だけではなく、プログラマーとも相談してみてください。理想と技術の間で理想的なバランスを取ることが肝心ですから。
Look at the way he said that shit. Hold up. Look at the way he said that. He said, talk to your programmers. Like, this is why I'm looking at this series. Like, I want people to understand in the way that I used to not understand. Like, I fucking love, like, how going into gaming or just going into game development or whatever is like a fucking world. Like, this dude is talking to future developers as if, oh, you're gonna like, when you have a team, direct them this way, think about this from the team. Like, it is genuine good preparation in terms of the mindset you have to be in to enter this field. And I love this so much, especially when compared to like any kind of vague tutorials on here's how to get into game dev, or here's how I became a game developer or a game programmer or a game tester in like X months, guide written by Andrew Tate. Like, it is a really, really healthy language to utilize in terms of approaching this and trying to seek it out legitimately. Ooh, name files is the next one. I actually really like this shit. This is low-key one of my favorite episodes, and I do not understand why. I think I'm just too used to computers.
ただし、このカテゴリーはあんまり多く話をすることができません。全体的にも数が少なくなると思います。秘匿などに特に触れやすいことですし、こういった話は開発環境やチームの規模、対象機種などによってしていることがすごく大きく変わってしまいます。なので、現場でやってることは多々あるのですが、ここでは問題のない範囲で概要をいくらか上げるだけでしょうね。では始めます。スマブラにおける上必殺技、私はこれを必殺技上などと逆に言ってしまうことがあります。これはなぜなのか。実は開発名称では必殺技上なのです。なんとチーム全体で必殺技上と呼ぶようにしています。これには合理的な理由があるのでご紹介しておきましょう。まず技のそれぞれにはファイル名があります。ラベル名と言ってもいいですけど、初代スマブラの開発の時から、決めて、現在に至るまで引き継いでいます。まず A ボタンで行う通常攻撃はアタックと呼ぶことにしました。通常攻撃っていうのは普通のパンチとかキックとかですね。対して B ボタンで行う必殺技はスペシャル。これは例えばファイアボールとかスーパージャンプパンチとか。例えば弱攻撃はアタック1、スマッシュ攻撃はアタック4とつけて区別します。 弱攻撃のコンビネーションはアタック123と、数字が上がるようになっています。強攻撃やスマッシュ攻撃、必殺技などにはパッドの入力方法がつきます。中央の N、つまりニュートラル、上のハイ、横の S、下のロー、このルールに従えば横スマッシュ攻撃はアタック S4 という表記になりますね。ちなみに空中技にはエアがつきます。横空中攻撃はアタックエア S。 誰の目から見ても
do you hear some kind of helicopter noise in the background? I just want to see how loud it is. I'm assuming it can be heard.
綺麗に並ぶことも非常に大きな利点です。アタックはアタックで弱、強、スマッシュと強度に応じて数値が大きくなるので整頓されると。
They're ordered by strength?
必殺技はスペシャルとついているので、別のカテゴリーになるし区分がつきやすくなります。これは仮に S アタック、ハイアタックなどと方向を先にしてしまう表記にすると相当した時にバラバラになってしまうんですね。強度を数値以外にするのもまあ良くないです。スペシャルハイをそのままに言うと必殺技上ですということです。反面じゃあ正式名称としては上必殺技と呼んでいるのはなぜか。これはプレイヤーの操作としては方向から入るからです。上を入れながら必殺ボタンで、上必殺技、操作の方法と呼び名が合っていますよね。かくしてややこしいですが技の開発名称と正式名称が異なっています。私は思わず反対に言ってしまうことがありますが、ご容赦くださいということで。
One moment. I'm going to hide that for a second. I just want to fix the chat real fast. There should be... Come on, dude. But yeah. Do you have any recommendations for this lightish? Well, no, you already told me what to do. Lower than recommended. Come on, dude. Pop out. Ugh. You know, it's funny. I think that it's really surprising to me that Streamlabs hasn't just made a more, I guess, a way of integrating this chat shit just more easily. Like, it's been years. I'm pretty sure I've seen other streamers have this exact issue where they have to fix the YouTube embed in chat like a million fucking times, or at least every time they stream, which is really annoying. But regardless, we're good. All right. Oh yeah, stream's looking actually like a fucking layout now. All right, bet. I actually have the chat going. Good.
開発で使うファイル名やラベル名は簡潔にして分かりやすく、初めて触れる人でもパッと見て何であるのかがよくわかるように。短くしすぎるとタイピングは楽になるけど意味が分かりにくいので、バランスよく分かる程度にするのがおすすめです。あとくれぐれも言いたいこと、日本の開発者はローマ字によるファイル名は極力使わないようにした方がいいです。特に大きなプロジェクトなら、これは海外の人に対して意味が分かりにくくなってしまうんですよね。後から見直すときに海外の人が分からないってことあります。チームにはよく注意するんですけど、後を絶ちませんね。作った人だけが分かればいいわけではないのです。
Go. All right. This is one I need to learn more about.
ゲームを思わず進めてしまう動機、報酬やご褒美はもちろん動機につながるものなのでしっかりまとめていきたいところです。だけどご褒美をゲーム途中で意識できないというのも少し寂しいですね。これはイースの画面。もともとは1987年の PC ゲーム。これは PC エンジン版の画面ですけれども、メイン画面がやや小さめですが、当時は描画に結構時間がかかっていたので、処理負荷を稼ぐために小さくしているのだと思われます。なので画面外はそれなりにゆとりがあり、情報量を多くできるのですが、下に注目。現在の経験値とレベルアップする数値が見えています。これ非常に良いですね。敵を倒すごとに数値が増えるから、一つレベルが上がるまでついつい頑張ってしまう。稼ぎや目標が明示されているということです。目の前にご褒美を吊るすこと、目標をはっきりさせること、これはやる気を増してくれます。
I didn't expect you to finish the fucking lyric.
ハザナドゥという作品があります。店に売っているアイテム数は少なく値段は高めだけど、いざ購入できたらぐっとパワーアップされます。わずかな小銭を少しずつ貯め、あといくらで次の装備を変えると頑張ることはゲームにとってプラスになります。現代のゲームは
Interesting.
お金もそれなりに潤沢で装備品も山ほど
The games I've wanted to think about, like in terms of
こうい
designing,
った楽しさを演出するの
I
は
haven't-
難しいかもしれません。
I've not felt a need for like.
目的意識を手の
That's the part that bugs me. Like,
達成した時の
Okay.
喜びにダイレクト
so he says something. After all, you only got fun. Yeah, all right, yeah. Let me stop. I can't keep embarrassing myself like that. All right, so Jesus. So the thing that confuses me about this one is that like he talks about keeping it visually in sight, and he talks about like either like usually in the context of like games with a embedded like system of progress, I guess, like games where you have a system of experience points, you have a system of armor, not necessarily just RPGs, but like just games where alongside your character's actual statistics going up, your options, just raw options, whether that be other weapons or armor or whatever, just all that kind of being a part of the experience. What my question is like, how do you set these kinds of rewards in place for things like visual novels or like just more text-based oriented games or games where it's like you don't necessarily have that immediate UI in front of you that's constantly reminding you of that. There's rewards for like completing things or like going over the game once over in a certain way or twice over in a certain way or whatever, but it's like that's where I'm most curious about. And he's talking about it in the more fundamental way. I think that that's kind of a problem that really creative developers had to solve a lot more complexly.
これ
That's not a
は
word.
大きな参考になりそうだなと今更思いますね。私のゲームでももっと積極的に取り入れたらよかったかな。
A lot of developers talk about that, from what I can remember. It's always reward. What if I don't?
はい、今回は雑の段です。ゲームするには時間がかかる、正直もったいない。そこで私はゲーム時間と運動時間を重ねています。
You know, he is definitely fucking min-maxing
具
this
体的
shit.
にはエアロバイクしながらゲームしますね。運動はやっぱり辛い。長続きしない。そんな時、ゲームしながらエアロバイクを漕ぐことで辛さを忘れられます。
That actually is a setup I would really, really like if I get my own
運動できるの
crib,
でおすす
my
め
own
です。
house.
住環境が許せばステッパーやルームランナーなどでも良さそうですが、ただエアロバイクでしのぶようなゲームをプレイする場合、思わずゆっくり動作になったりしますね。逆にレースゲームのようなものは
He's playing the slow footstep on a treadmill metagame?
やりすぎには注意。 有酸素運動はある程度の長さを継続することが大事。ゲームしながらやれば辛さを忘れるのが良いですね。私は2時間ぐらい漕いでることもあります。
Damn.
なお、私はエアロ
Sakurai
バイク
gets
を
it
漕ぎな
in.
が
Fuck.
らゲームしつつ、もう一つのテレビで、番組やビデオを見ていることが多いです。両方進めるとどちらかが頭に入ってこなくなる場合もありますが、集中したい場合はもう片方一時的に止めるとか。各種サブスクリプションならいろんな映像があると思うので、見ないよりは良いと割り切って流していることも多いです。運動の話に戻ります。私はこういうのもなんですが、運動嫌いですね。正直人は体に悪いことが大好きです。知ってます。だけど運動するのとしないのとでは、
Yeah, y'all niggas don't want to know what I ate before I started this fucking stream. Real rap.
ある程度の運動はした方が良いですよ。私はコロナ禍によりジムを辞めてしまったりして不節制しがちになっています。だから少しは家でも体を動かすように習慣づけたいところです。運動器具の中で特に良いと思ったのは可変式ダンベル。
I need to check something.
グリップを
Make
ひね
sure
るだけで重たさを自由にコントロールできます。
Stream ain't got it.
これは便利。
Switch up. Okay, good. We're good so far.
コロナ禍で家に戻るまでに、マンションの階段を使っていたこともありました。といっても500段ぐらいですかね。これはやりすぎて足が故障気味になってから少しサボっています。足の関節がパキパキ言うんだよな。何事にもやりすぎにはご注意を。
Exercise is important, I guess. Fine. Fine.
ゲームから出る音は音楽、効果音、声などがあります。このサウンドカテゴリーではゲーム制作時にある音のあれこれについて解説
Oh, why do I feel
したい
like
と
it's
思
thinking
いま
about
す。
to blow my mind?
始めます。
I don't think I've seen this one.
テンポというのは音楽において、拍をどのぐらいの速さで打つかの、指標です。 BPM とか言われますけれども、これはゲーム内容によって合うテンポ感と合わないテンポ感があります。結局個人的な趣味嗜好が大きい領域ではあるのですが、これは意識しておくべ
What?
き。
Oh, that was that I forget what game that was, but it's a really good song.
曲に合わせて手拍子をするとき、1分間に、どれだけの音が入るかの数値です。1秒間に1回の拍でおよそ BPM60。
Wait, what game is this?
1秒間に2回ならおよそ BPM。
What game is this? It's a fucking portable doll on the DS? What is
という
that?
感じ。スマブラで、対戦用にまともにアレンジしたステージ曲なら120より少し速いものが多いです。130から170ぐらいかな。中には200ぐらいのものもありますが、そこまで速いものは少数。
That fucking gang playing Galleon remix
同じような対
had
戦ゲームにおいても
everybody in
コントロー
a
ルの速さ
fucking vice grip when that dropped, when Smash Ultimate dropped. Like, people were putting that shit in videos. People were like bumping it in their cars, making memes and shit. That song was fire. It's funny because I feel like a lot of attention goes to Sakurai specifically when it came to the when it comes to the music, I guess, development, production, whatever in the Smash series. And I wonder how much of a role he had in it, because it seems like a lot of the music has really similar direction in terms of intensity, or at least the remixes do.
適切な曲のテンポは異なるはず。もちろん同じゲーム内においても、場面が変われば適切なテンポ感やリズムも異なります。作曲家のみならずゲームに適したテンポを考えてみましょう。ところでドラゴンクエスト1において、ダンジョンの地下に潜れば潜るほど音楽のテンポが下がるという仕掛けがあります。
That's a thing? I actually really like that. It's so
あ
simple
れ
for
非常に
like
効果的だと思うん
whenever
で
the
すが
fuck that game
実
dropped.
装が難しいのかなかなか他のタイトルでは見られないですね。
But it does the job. It's the little things. The little things.
早めにお話ししておきたいことですが、ゲームの楽しみイコールゲーム性というわけではありません。ゲーム性はゲームの面白さの一部であって、やはりゲームには多様性があります。ゲーム性によるものではないゲームの楽しさを持つジャンルを、合計7つほど挙げておきたいと思います。まず1つ目、操作が楽しいもの。ビデオゲームは操作をするだけでも楽しいと感じさせることができます。モニターの中という自然の法則から解き放たれる空間は、現実世界に生きる我々にとって実に不思議かつ魅力的なものです。操作をするだけで楽しくさせるに
I like that
は
quote.
適切な仕様や操作感を敏感に汲み取り調整する技術などが必要です。ちなみにラジコンなども操作感で楽しくさせる媒体ですね。2番目、アドベンチャーゲームとか、サウンドノベルですかね。このジャンルのゲームは駆け引きなどよりも物語を進めることによる面白さが先立ちます。小説や映画などの延長線上ですが、だからといってお話さえ面白ければゲームが成り立つわけでもありません。小説などと異なる表現方法、コンピューターを生かしたシステム、それを生かしたシナリオ作りをすることが
It's crazy. Canonically, Sakurai has played Doki Doki Literature Club. That's crazy.
同じストーリーものでも逆転裁
Cano-
判あたりになる
Yo!
と駆け引き色が強くなっていくように
My game.
曖昧な境界線
The game that my fucking chat is based on right now.
3. ムービーやストーリー重視のもの。前の項目と近似していますが、これはゲームジャンルを問わずにくっつけられるものです。単純に映像やお話が楽しいことはゲーム性ではないということは分かりやすいと思いますが、ゲーム性を盛り上げる重要なエッセンスにはなり得ます。先に進みたい欲求はより頑張ってリスクに立ち向かう原動力になりますから。キャラクターや世界をしっかり見せることでユーザーがよりイメージを深めることができ、ゲーム画面の体感度を高めることができるという利点も大きいですね。4. 版権ものやキャラクターもの。このジャンルは映画、おもちゃ、カードなどその作品のファンのために向けた商品群として見るのが良いと思います。なので一般的にはゲームが面白いか面白くないかそのものより、その作品世界をしっかり楽しませることができるかどうかの方が重要視されます。逆に言えば、その作品のファンでもない人が評論するのはあんまり意味がありません。
That's a good point.
このジャンルにおいてゲーム性だけを語るのは
It would be
や
so
ばい
funny
で
if
すね。
Sakurai got copyright claimed by these companies for using game footage.
5番目、
If somebody had the fucking balls, the giant hairy monkey balls to fucking copyright, or even if it was automatic, if the YouTube algorithm itself had the digital balls to copyright strike Masahiro Sakurai, the world would come to an end on site. Oh my god.
モチーフの再現。戦略系ではないリアルシミュレーションゲームですね。疑似世界でごっこ遊びを楽しむ。これもゲーム性以外の非常に楽しい要素です。例えば、電車のゲームで電車が駅に着いたとき、扉が開くガラガラガラという音やお客さんが入ってくるゴトゴトゴトという足音みたいなものを出すと、プログラムから見れば効果を一つ二つ。
I just want to say real quick, train simulator niggas? Train simulator niggas? They're scary. I like them. I respect them. They're good people. 8 times out of 10. But them niggas is fucking scary. Think about it. Look at the shit you pay attention to appreciate one train simulator game over another. Like the shit that goes like that what the fuck? Train simulator games bug me the fuck out, dude. It's wild. It's a little weird. I'm fucking with it. It is really cool. I'm just saying, them niggas a bit spooky.
読んだだけなのに プレイヤーはあたかも扉が開いたお客が入ってきたかのようなモニター外の世界観を感じることができます。現実に近づけることでゲームで表現している以上の情報量をプレイヤーが受け取り、より深みを感じられる。もちろんゲーム性を増すことはできるのですが、それだけではない楽しみに満ちていると思います。6番目、エディット・クラフト系。これは工作するだけでもゲーム性と関係なく楽しむことができますが、その仕様の中に高所から落ちたら死んでしまうとか、敵から防衛するために工作するとか、素材を得るために危険を冒すなど、リスクとリターンを絡めると
Also, I just want to ask a general
面白くなる
question.
可能性があります。
Probably not to the broader chat, but did anybody else, like when they were very first time playing Minecraft and they had the prompt to make a workbench, you didn't know what button to push, you didn't know what to do, and you were just too stubborn to use Google, so you ended up just chopping down a tree, getting a bunch of wood, and like tried to make a fucking workbench. Like you just put plank next to a couple logs, a couple corners. Like I didn't know how to make it look like a workbench. It just looked like a giant wooden snake. But I was like, is this it? Genuinely and authentically for like 20 minutes until finally I said, all right, let me look this shit up. And I found the E button or I button, and it's like, oh, dope. No. I didn't forget the game. I'm saying I was playing Minecraft. Wait. The game is Minecraft, not mine make by yourself. Nigga, I didn't know. I didn't fucking know. I didn't even buy the game. I played a cracked version online. I literally went on that game just to find out what a creeper was, because I saw a Facebook post from an old friend whose game taste I trusted, and he said, "Hey yo, fuck creepers," and I was like, "What is that? That sounds interesting." And I went and didn't find any creepers. I just found a bunch of fucking wood. Didn't know what to do with it for like 20 minutes. It's fine. Suck my dick.
ところで前室の、実在モチーフの再現と通ずるところもあります。ごっこ遊び的な。これを合わせた例はマインクラフトよりも動物の森の方が顕著かもしれませんね。7番目、音ゲー。リズムに合わせて音を鳴らすという楽しみはゲーム性よりももっと原始的な喜びに基づくものです。
I hope that could be heard. I didn't expect that to be on beat. I did not know what fucking song that was.
それとこのジャンルは何度も聴いて馴染んだ曲であればあるほど楽しめることと思います。曲を覚えることを前提にしてそれに合わせてリズムを刻むことはやっぱり楽しいですよね。ただ作りによっては駆け引きも生まれるしリスクとリターンを取り入れることもまあ可能です。ビートマニアシリーズなどがそうなっていますが、最高に良いパーフェクトのタイミングから少し遅れると失敗。
Damn.
これがパーフェクトから離れるほどグッドバッドになっていくような柔らかいシステムにすると駆け引きが下がり少しつまらなく感じられるはずです。以上です。今回の話に含めるかどうかを考え結局外したゲームジャンルがあります。それはスポーツもの。
Oh, I thought. Wait, didn't he skip fighting games? Did he say fighting
何
games?
らかの駆け引きが必ず。
No, he must have said that. There's no way he didn't.
それをコンピューター上で体現した時点ですでに何らかのゲーム性は兼ね備えていると言えます。またスポーツ観戦は応援するチームがあってこそ成り立ちます。プレイヤーが応援すべきは当然操作しているチーム。実際の世界で
He didn't say fighting games.
チームがあり、それを操作していることと
He did not say fighting
一
games.
喜一憂できることと思います。
What is this fucking
こういった
slander?
ものはゲーム性を新たに設計する
Unless he means no, he means actual sport. This nigga didn't say fighting games.
自然に駆け引きが発生するもの
I can't look this fucking stupid live. I have to check. You know, he's done. That's crazy. No, let's finish the
ゲ
video.
ー
I'll check
ム
it
の面
out.
白さの全てではないし、それぞれの楽しみは0か1かではなくて曖昧につながっています。境界線はありません。素直に 楽しいことを感じられ、それを噛み砕くことができれば、より幅が広いことができるようになる可能性もあるので、ぜひ敏感になってみてください。
Okay, hold the fuck up. I need to see. He said,
でも楽しいと感じさせ
"Oh wait, unless he meant it here." No. All right, so games that are fun to control, adventure games and visual novels,
していますが、これは
cinematic and story-focused games. That's still 3. Licensed games,
ってくるゴトゴトゴト
games based on real life, building and creating games, rhythm games, and sports games was the extra. This nigga didn't mention fighting games. How do you skip that? What? Broski made a fucking fighting game. All right, well, it's fine. I'll just cry, I guess.
作り終えた後、1996年、任天堂64の時代がやってきます。私はスーパーデラックスのアフターケアなどをした後、一人で 3D の勉強をしていました。当時はシリコングラフィックスのマシンでソフトイマージを動かし、モデル、モーション、カメラ、レンダリングなどを覚えていきました。スーパーデラックスの開発でも少しは、CG ソフトに触れてはいましたが、絵だけ、それも他のアーティストが作るものでしたしね。そして任天堂64ソフトとして2つの企画を立てます。1つは4人対戦型バトルロイヤル格闘、スマブラの原型です。
Is that is that what his actual documents looked like back then? Hold the fuck up. Is this nigga using the same? That looks like a scan. Like that John says 1996 on the John. Did he really has he really had the same text style, default font for all of his proposals and documents, and same style and just visuals and shit since 1996, if not before, to the point where he's using it to the point where he evolved it from a on paper presentation format into the UI of Smash Ultimate and all of his fucking formal video programming. That is one of the coolest fucking flexes I've ever seen. I remember the first time I saw this video, I looked at this at a glance and thought it was cool, but I thought that this John was just not the real deal. It wasn't just that, and I didn't think of the broader implications of it. But fuck, that is so cool.
アップして進むラジコンロボットアドベンチャー。この2つのプロトタイプ案を実際に作ってみることになりました。企画やグラフィックやモデルやモーションは私、プログラムは岩田さん、正確にはサウンドがもう一人います。ここで貴重な映像、そのプロトタイプ版、通称格闘ゲーム竜王をご覧ください。必殺技と回避、アイテムなどはまだありませんが、ゲームのルールはまんまスマブラであることがわかると思います。ちゃんとスマッシュ攻撃や空中ジャンプ、
That's a really good
シ
screen.
ールド、ダッシュ、
Also, I've barely been playing
5
the
方向
game.
の空中攻撃などもあります。戦場地形になっていますね。変えることもできますが、この頃のモデル構成は非常に不自由でしたが、それでもちゃんと動いていると思います。この竜王とラジコンアドベンチャーの試作、どちらも任天堂の方には高く評価されました。そして機会を待ちました。機会を待つというのはですね、会社のいろんなスタッフはすでに別のソフトを作っていました。つまりスタッフがいないと。発表された中では 64DD のマザー3や ゲームキューブ版とは関係ない、スノボ風のエアライドもありました。
I already have fucking limit form?
他
Okay.
のソフトが作られていましたが発表されていません。それらが軒並み発売されなくなったことにより可及的速やかにソフトを仕上げる必要がありました。ラジコンアドベンチャーの方もかなりの手応えを感じていたのですが、まともに作ったら2年かかるであろうと思いました。それでより早く完成できそうな4人対戦格闘を作ることになりました。少し前の段階の話に戻りますが、スマブラがどういう発想で企画を考えられたのか。
And Fowler form?
格闘ゲームのアンチテーゼとはよく言われるし、実際私もそう言っていますが、格闘ゲームを否定しているわけではないのです。格闘ゲームは非常に面白いです。何しろ駆け引きは最大に発揮され
Okay. Alright, I'll shut the fuck up. He did it. He talked about him a little bit.
ただ、コンボについて、これは駆け引きではないと思っていました。最初のヒットからうまく攻撃をつなげられるかという遊びの中には、対戦相手のテクニックの介在というのはありません。コンボ重視のゲームが増え、駆け引き要素などは下がっていく。わからない人や初心者にはなおさら見ているだけの、やられているだけの状況が増えてしまう。結果が操作により決まりきることではなく、もっと差し合いやアドリブ性みたいなものを求めることはできないかなと考えました。結果として蓄積ダメージシステムが生まれました。相手のリアクションが毎回異なる。画面外に飛び出したらダメージがどうあっても負け。これはいけるのではないかなと思いましたね。もう一つ、ゲームを考えたのは1996年ですが、この頃は格闘ゲームのコマンド入力がやたらと複雑化していた時でもありました。中にはすんごいコマンド入力もあります。
Oh shit, yeah, that is really bad.
そこでパッドの方向プラスボタンでシンプルに直感的に操作できるものを目指しました。なお、スマッシュ。
Alright, so a couple things here. First of all, I think it's really fucking cool that, like, from the very, like, invention of Smash Brothers as a concept, there was the whole understanding of the complex, I guess, like the dynamic change in situations that would come about depending on, like, the level of percentage that somebody's at, or, like, how people are going to respond to certain things and follow up with certain combos and all that. Like, I just want, like, I'm not trying to be like, oh, Sakurai knows what he's doing, but, like, it's really cool how the fundamentals of what we understand, at least from what competitive players understand as competitive play, all of that was thought of at the core of the game when they were first thinking about it. Like, we were ahead, like, the developers were ahead of the curve. Sakurai was ahead of the curve in terms of what the optimal version of this closed system of a game was supposed to look like. And it's really cool how, like, I guess, well, for starters, once you're able to put out an engine like that and kind of actually create the game, it's really cool to think about how you, as the creator of that, can visualize what can and can't happen within that space. But going beyond that, the other thing I wanted to mention is that given all of this, like, all of the priorities that went into making this system what it was, a lot of it falls back down to the stick and button control style that he just mentioned and how you can, like, vary between attacks with that. That is kind of what makes, on top of solving the problem of complex inputs that he mentions, that is also the way to come up with a replacement for that all in the same breath. It's like you're creating a new complex system of follow-ups, and if I hit somebody, with action comes consequence. Okay, I hit you, consequence, you're flying. Now I have to think about what's my follow-up going to be. All of that is happening rapid fire in your head as you play, and it creates a really cool dynamic there, which is why I'm really excited that another game is actually going to attack this from a different, like, ground up approach versus just making another Smash clone. That game being God, I forget it. Is it Project L? The one that the League of Legends fighting game? That is going to be a very, very fun time because that's going to my understanding, that's going to be a 2D fighting game with Smash style controls and no knockback. So we're going to see how they're going to manage to create a game that has complex functions in it, complex combos, but don't rely on a complex series of inputs. Smash Brothers had to pioneer an entire new set of fighting games to answer that question. And now we're going to see what can be done with that now that we've had over 20 years of or about 20 years of like advancements of all types of fighting game formulas, not just Smashes.
入力、つまり弾きという概念が生まれています。素早く倒すとより強く攻撃したりジャンプできるという。64でアナログスティックが実装される際できることを考えた結果です。無段階の方向、無段階の深度に目が行きがちですが、私は入力が完成する時間に目をつけました。なお、スマブラといえば任天堂のさまざまなキャラクターが出ることが売りの一つですが、これは企画書上には書いておらず、後から交渉することになります。コンシューマーの格闘ゲームにおいて難しい点の一つに、主役がいきなりいっぱいいるという要素があります。例えばゼルダの伝説ならリンクという主人公がいて、その他のサブキャラクターや敵がいる。候補上そういったことを順番に展開していけばイメージが伝わるのですが、格闘ゲームの場合いきなり主人公が8人とか12人とかいるわけですよね。お客さんに対して知らない人がいきなり12人とかいても親しみや取っかかりを持ちにくいですよね。アーケードの格闘ゲームならとりあえずプレイしてみることは可能だし、他の人がプレイしているのも見ているわけだから問題解決できます。少なくともどちらかを応援しているなりすれば、そのうち感情移入もできようものです。だけど何にも知らない、新入生キャラクターがいきなりずらっと並んでいる状況については客観視してちゃんと取り組むべきだと思いました。結果として任天堂の人気キャラクターをお借りすることになりました。この最初のイメージには、結局最後まで悩まされることになります。スマブラが完成した時、同じ任天堂内外でも、ゲームをよくプレイする開発関連の方々などは喜んで遊んでくれたのですが、営業や問屋などからは任天堂のキャラクターが殴り合いなんてとんでもないと拒否反応を起こされたものです。遊んでないうちからですけどね。また従来の格闘ゲームが頭に染みついている人にも浸透が難しかったです。駆け引きの種類が全く違うので偏見をなかなか拭えません。それを補うためスマブラ券などを制作していたりもします。結局発売してからこれは面白いと評判を受け、じわじわと広がりました。結果オーライ、いやそれ以上の成果ではあったと思いますね。当時支えてくださった方々どうもありがとうございます。なお私にとっては初めての声優さん起用タイトルでもあります。カービィの公式声もここで決まりました。スマブラはルールを変えてプレイした方はご存知の通り、いかようにも設定できる柔軟性を持っています。アイテムありあり、ステージランダムの4人担当でアバウトに遊んでもよいし、アイテムなしワンオンワンでガチガチに遊んでもよいと。好きなところだけ好きなように遊ぶという方針は、ある程度確立できていると思います。
Yeah, I've been doing that a lot.
はい、というわけで次の企画コンセプトのカテゴリーは大乱闘スマッシュブラザーズデラックスのお話です。
Dope.
和也の螺旋弦魔脚、この腰のねじれを見てください。
Jesus.
これはダメだ、バグだなんて騒ぐのはやめてほしいかな。
Oh, he's gonna pick Melee apart. He's gonna pick Melee apart in this. Oh my god, that's gonna be fun.
極端に振られたモーションは 良いモーションですよ。
He's gonna talk about all this
これ
shit,
は
dog.
原作でもそうだったので OK として、進めさせてもらっていますが、本当はもっともっとやりすぎるべき。攻撃モーションを作る際、これはやりすぎということはほとんどありません。逆に全然足りていないということは日常茶飯事です。どうせ小さい画面の小さいことですから、同じ攻撃を作るのもぐっとやりすぎてちょうどいいぐらいに考えた方が良いです。アッパーするのにこのぐらいでは足りない、このぐらいは欲しい。
Oh.
便宜上別の技で説明してしまいましたが、 OK と思ったものよりもさらにオーバーに動かすというぐらいでちょうど良いでしょう。初代スマブラ制作時、いや格闘ゲーム竜王の制作時から、
Hey,
このリーグ
Keyblade.
構成は胴体と上体がついており、ただ角度を変えるだけでした。つまり位置がずれない。人間って例えば肩の付け根位置を前後にずらすことができますよね。だから当時は十分なモーションを作ることができませんでした。今はノウハウもたまりツールも進化していますから、だいぶ柔軟性が高いことができるようになってきました。モデルを止めた時の破綻を切りすぎて別途修正させられることはあるのですが、それは勢いを殺してしまいます。最初の 3D 格闘ゲームと言われるバーチャファイターの動きを見てください。この時からすごい完成度のモーションでしたが、上半身と下半身がほぼ逆向きになっているようなものもあります。可動範囲が理屈で正しいことが良いことではありません。モーションは行き過ぎるぐらいでちょうどと頭の中に刻んでいただければと思い
Yeah,
ま
I
す。
gotta remember that more.
なお、直線的な動きにおいては行き過ぎて少し戻るのも有効です。これはファミコン時代からすでにやっています。星のカービィ、夢の泉の物語におけるニードル能力。3番の絵になってから4番の絵になるのですが、行き過ぎて戻る様がよく見えますね。ゲームにおける仕様を途中で変える、極力避けるべきことではありますが、柔軟にすべきことでもあります。仕様を変えたらそれまで作ってきたものが無駄になったり、開発の道筋が遠回りになったりします。純粋にコストがかかるし、モチベーションも減りかねないので、実際は避けたいですね。
I just realized.
いかに先を踏まえて計画されたゲーム仕様でも
Are these in release order? He didn't mention that as a concept, right? Earlier, did he? It doesn't matter much. Yeah, no, I guess not. Okay. All right.
実際に作ってみなければ発覚しないことはあります。というより、想定したゲームを誰にでも見せる形にするには完成させるしかないわけで、完成させるために完成できるだけの資料や想定をしていたら、資料作りが丸一本のゲームを作ることに匹敵するなんてことにもなりかねません。また、チームで作ったものの方向性によっても変わります。一見して同じものでもプログラマーなどが違えば中身はだいぶ違いますし、スケジュールの都合で仕様を変えるということはよくあることです。やむなし。ゲームが面白くならないから仕様を変えるということはなるべく避けるべきですかね。企画段階から面白さは見据えていた方が良い。制作物は様々なものの組み合わせです。例えば敵キャラ一つ動かすのも仕様、基礎デザイン、モデル、モーション、エフェクト、プログラム、スクリプト、効果音などが必要になります。上流に当たるどれかがスケジュールに遅れたとか、下流に当たる全体スケジュールが詰まったりする。
If there's one thing this series is good for, it's It's like establishing a sense of scale for this, the amount of effort that goes into this kind of thing. Hold on, I saw something. Here, let me refresh the chat. Do you think that holds today for corporations, or is monetization on their minds more often than not? Can you specify that what holds true today for corporations?
すると制作を進めることができなくなってしまいます。より良い方法や技術があったので仕様を変える。
Wait. Monetization on their mind more often than not. Was I talking about that earlier? Are you behind? Or did something he said? Oh, I'm tripping. He said fun should be primary. I wonder for some companies with sequels if monetization. Oh no, it's absolutely monetization is the bigger priority over fun. Specifically, like fun is always a factor. Like it's not a game if it's not fun. That is one thing that's always going to be, at least for right now, fairly clear in the game industry. I think that fun being primary is falling off because they're finding elements to monetize games that are producing feelings that are more valuable than fun. Like it's like how in Monsters Inc. when they found out that laughs are 10 times more powerful than screams by the end of the movie. They find out that loot boxes is more valuable than fun. And it's if it's not going to be loot boxes, it's going to be battle passes. If it's not going to be battle passes, it's going to be throwing cosmetics into everything. There was even that conversation briefly about having NFTs inside the metaverse and eventually video games. That is probably still under some kind of development currently to some extent. Maybe. I know Epic Games was about to be really big on it. Like, imagine NFTs in fucking Fortnite. Like, you can't stop that. Not saying it's a good thing. So yeah, no, I think that there's always going to be that focus on the fun aspect, but there's going to gradually be just as much, if not more, focus on making enough of a monetization effort to either just be more potent than the fun aspect in general. Gambling is fun. You will win. Look at big wins out of context. You will win it back. Gamble. Yeah, no, exactly. That is exactly what is being exploited. And gambling is fun. Like, that is the core principle of it. They're still accomplishing fun, just in a different way. But, like, it's a fundamentally different type of fun. Like, I feel like that's more of a thrill than it is a matter of push and pull or trying to resist stress in a way that is contained within a small challenge that a game presents. Where are we at? We were somewhere. Wait, weren't we like here? Yeah.
あったりすると制作を進めることができなくなってしまいます。より良い方法や技術があったので仕様を変える。工数を削るために仕様を変える。パフォーマンスが想定より低かったので仕様を変える。その他山ほど仕様変更を考えられる機会があり、その選択に頭を悩ませます。実際のところこれはケースバイケースであるとしか言えませんね。仕様を変えまいという個人になって問題があるのに作り続けてもしょうがないですから。またスタッフなどが問題点に気がついていた場合、後からそうだろうと思っていたなどというのはなしです。問題に気がついたらすぐに誰かに言わなければならない。スタッフなら誰でも漏れなくです。お客さんはプレイヤーは問題があっても
I wonder how often that actually happens. That's something I like, because when bugs get left inside of a game, like game breaking fucking ass bugs, usually there is almost always somebody that has known that was a problem. And at least, and especially lately, there's been the cases of people knowing that these things are a problem, but they're getting crunched by the game company that is pushing that publisher. And I wonder how many of these problems go completely not overlooked because they were spotted, but completely ignored by higher ups and management. I think that's another indication as to like how much fun is becoming less of a priority, because it's not fun to play a buggy ass game at the very least. So I don't know. I do wonder about that. I imagine it's something similar to working in a software engineering environment, or just something like that. I don't know. Yeah, no, probably. But yeah, no, it's weird, and it sucks because Sakurai says this, and I imagine that like his intentions are like, he wants to be a role model to game developers. Like, of course he's going to say, do the right thing, report this. But it might be like in the same way where if you're working at a smaller corporation or like a relative like mom and pop shop type deal when there's a regular ass job and you try to report some minor form of misconduct or even significant form of misconduct to a superior that's just like, or that's like just doesn't care, you don't get much out of that, and your environment can end up being more hostile as a result, realistically. Not saying that that can't work, it's just, look around you, how often does that shit actually work?
しかし、開発スタッフなら仕様を変えることができる可能性があります。理屈が通じないコンピューターを相手にするからこそ、矛盾めいた解決できない問題が起こることも多いですが、だからこそ集合値っていうのは侮れません。できる手立ては考えられるだけ机上に並べ、そこから現在における最適解を選択する。解は短期と長期の両方から吟味するなんてことが必要かなと思います。
I cannot get over the fact that this nigga kept the same fucking font for damn near 24 years.
時間をかけず即座に結論を出すようにしています。大概の場合は聞いたその場ですぐ。迷ってるのは時間がもったいないですから。
Like that shit impresses me. That's
そ
some
の判
niche
断に
shit.
は情報が必要です。情報が正しくないほど判断をミスする可能性が高くなるので、分かっていることは洗いざらい聞きたいなと思います。相談のためにどう相談しようなんてチームで揉んでいて時間がかかるなんてことも本当にあるんですが、そういうことも損ですね。開発は常に動いているものですから、もし相談が早ければロスも少なくて済みます。これは歴代スマブラのステージ作りの中で毎回のように話をしていることなのですが、なかなかそれでも達成できないところです。ステージごとに同じような話。
One second, I'm just going to plug my phone in. Or actually, let me bring the charger over here. I'll be right back. All right, nigga, I'm Gucci, you Polo. Let's go.
をすること多数。それだけつまずきやすいということなので、聞いておいて損はないのではないかなと思います。それは接触判定を持つものを強調し、それ以外を強調しないということです。赤く表示したところが判定を持つ部分。スマブラはアクションゲームですから、どの位置に床があるということが分かるのは当たり前だけど大事です。しかし、まず 3D ポリゴンでパースがついたりすると判定位置は分かりにくくなっていきます。そして地形のある部分とそうでない部分がしっかり強調度を分けられていないと認識できにくいです。スマブラの背景は全体的にかなり凝っていると言えます。だけど判定がないところの絵作りに力を入れすぎ、 目立つようになってくると、肝心の地形判定のあるところが目立たなくなる恐れがあります。地形が円形に負けているなんて感じに話をしますけれども、当たり判定がある部分ははっきり、そうでない円形は目立ち度を下げる。見た目の綺麗さを持たせながらこれを行うのはなかなか難しいですね。単純に考えれば、地形判定のない箇所には空気遠近などをかけて存在感を減らせばよい。だけど単純にそうしてしまうと、判定は分かりやすくなったかもしれませんが、見た目がだいぶ損なわれます。グラフィックの綺麗さだって大事。ゲームと関係ないとする人もいますが、そもそも変われなければ意味がないですし、全てはバランスですが、少しゲーム寄りに考えるぐらいがちょうどかと思います。アーティストは絵だけ描いていればいいというわけでもないので、ゲームの機能を理解して適切な絵を描きましょう。
Ooh, the price of games. Okay, this might be interesting.
はい、雑談の回です。雑談。ゲームソフトって高くないですかとよく言われます。あくまで私自身の見解であることをお断りしておきますが、私はだいぶ安いと。
True. Very, 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 very true. This is controversial as shit, but I don't care. Actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna let him talk first.
こんなに多くの時間を費やせるものをこの価格で提供できるっていうのはなかなかありません。もちろん国などによって感覚は違うでしょうけどね。特に日本は映画が高い国ですから。ちょっと会合のための食事や飲み会をする、感激したり映画を見る、ギャンブルする、ドライブへ旅行に行く、ホテルに泊まる、食べ歩きするなどなど、何をするに
Could still be true. I'm still gonna want a cheaper. Hold up. No, I want it cheaper too. Just give me a minute.
何十時間ものプレイを許容しつつ、トリプル A タイトルでも1万円いかない程度で遊べるわけです。規模が小さいものなら1000円台で。ソーシャルゲームなどなら無料で楽しめたりしますよね。やっぱり安い。
Yep, this is where I want to fight.
私は一つ一つのゲームがチームやプロジェクトとして進んでいることをよく知っています。ゲームの規模や制作物は昔に比べると
I'm not defending them. I'm not defending them.
続けているのに、全体的な価格はそれほど。
Actually, no. I know it's taking this point. All right. So let me go into it, right? So, are the prices of games justified? I think that as they stand right now, yes. But that is such, like, the slope that game pricing and, like, a proper and fair game purchasing market is at such a fucking, it is at the top of the slipperiest fucking downslide into hell to ever exist in the history of this fucking industry right fucking now. So before I go into that, I want to address some of the shit that he said. I'm actually going to scrub through this one because I might talk about this for a minute. Excuse me. All right, I'll just go through the caption. So he... Oh, no, let's get through the whole fucking thing. Oh, I can scrub it this way. So... Well, actually, no. Okay, I was going through it like this. The main argument that he's going for is the same argument as, like, why you don't want to pirate. Which is that because if you pirate, you're pulling away from the profits of the entire team of people that made it, blah, blah, blah. And that argument's fucking dumb. That is not a good argument. With the way that the market actually operates and with the way that, like, these games, at least the bigger ones, are published out, in the way that they're like, to start off with, once you have a company of a certain size, this applies to a gaming company, a food company, a soda company, a tech company, whatever the case is. Once you get to a certain size, you are capable of effectively guaranteeing some kind of profit. Like, can you fuck up and make zero from your operations? Sure. Are you going to? Fuck no. You're able to, like, if I am Pepsi Company, and I start off with one single store and I'm just selling 10 Pepsis a day, for $1. I'm being like super simplistic here. So like, I can reasonably work really hard to reach out to people that are passing by me on the street, passing by my store or whatever, and I can try to convince these people all day long, and I can just barely manage to convince 10 people to buy a Pepsi. And so I get that $10 in Pepsi, right? So then, over time, I get enough dollars from selling my Pepsis. I got enough to open a bigger store with advertisements and more staff to bug people to get Pepsis. Right outside the door, some guy wearing a fucking Pepsi suit, some nigga doing a Pepsi dance, a gigantic bottle of Pepsi just rotating with neon lights on it, whatever. I'm going to put all that investment into getting more and more people to walk past my Pepsi store and buy my Pepsi. And that's going to result in me selling 40 Pepsis a day. So let's take this principle, right? The more money I put into getting people to buy my Pepsi, the more Pepsi I'm going to get back. So let's take that shit all the way up to the top. I am now Pepsi Co. I am now a multi-million-dollar Pepsi corporation. I'm sorry, multi-billion-dollar Pepsi corporation. And now I have the means of whatever fucking sci-fi hoodoo, crazy psychology, marketing, fucking stone mask magic from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, whatever the fuck I need to do to get a bare minimum number of niggas to buy my Pepsi, I can do it at the drop of a hat. I have money like that. It's going to fucking happen, period. It is just the way capitalism works. Once we get to the point where a corporation has X amount of power, they're going to be able to make their profit back just by putting in a very small amount of effort / resources in out of what they have, out of that percentage. So bringing this back to games, when it comes to the price of games, gaming companies have that same power. They have that same influence. They are able to guarantee that if I drop a Zelda game, if I drop a Smash game, if I drop a God of War game, whatever game that already has a pre-established reputation, they're going to make a return on it. Like, even if the game is bad, we're just that far out. They're going to get something back from that. That is very, very significant. And that amount of money that they're going to get back does not really, it's affected by how good the game is at the end, true, but it's not even that heavily impacted. There are games that are really fucking bad, or at least that are not that great, that will still get sold because they were published by a specific company. That's powerful enough. So all that said, I think that the argument of if games don't get more expensive, then we're going to be depriving people of proper profits because you're Nintendo, you're Sakurai, you make Smash Brothers games. You're going to be getting that shit no matter what, period. That's the first thing. The second issue with raising these prices is that, oh man, well, for one, there's the justification question. There's a matter of, is it even reasonable to raise these prices, right? Like, is the quality of games going up? Is the difficulty of work to make these games going up such to justify that price? And to those two questions, I would say the answer actually might be yes. I don't know about difficulty necessarily, because as games increase in visual quality and capabilities in terms of like load times and smoothness and shit like that quality is going up. But as technology advances, does it become more difficult to implement? No. If anything, it gets easier. Just take a point, going from Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5, most of the features in that just allow you to accomplish effects natively inside of the engine in ways that are built in versus having to do some kind of workaround or design a completely new solution from scratch or just completely skip out on an idea at all because the technology is not there yet. It's getting more and more easy to create games. Putting the resources necessary to make a game of the highest quality for a specific generation or specific hardware, that might be something more demanding. But in terms of actually making the game, if you already have the resources to assemble a good team, then no, I don't think that's a problem. So I don't think that prices need to be raised to solve either of those two things. And so the question is there any space to raise them at all? Is there any space to take a different approach to monetizing these things? And I think that where we are right now, in terms of at least the price of the game as a ratio, the price of the game relative to the purchase price of the console, I think that ratio is actually pretty clean and fairly matches what has been the case for the past 20 years or so. I remember the DS games first costing $40. The 3DS games cost $40. I think the Game Boy Advance games cost $29, maybe up to $40 depending on the game, like Pokemon or some shit. You get to the PS2 era, I think games were capped at $30. PS3 they were capped at I think PS3 started. No, PS3 and Xbox 360 didn't even start the $60 age. $60 age didn't start until PS4. So like they've been gradually going up anyway, at a pretty reasonable rate. And technically you can say, yeah, sure, right now even the PS5 with some games coming out with $70 price tags, that sounds a bit steep. In this fucking economy, that sounds a bit steep. But I do think that increase currently is proportionate. But going down to the slide down thing, I think we're at a really dangerous point because now, with excuses available to game companies like inflation or whatever events are coming up in place that are making game development more difficult, the semiconductor shortage, inflation, there's been a lot of other things, but just shit that's going to give them a reason to just be like, let's just raise this $10. They might lean into that a little bit more just with the way that a lot of monetization practices are changing across all online media industries or just media industries in general right now. We're seeing the rise of streaming and subscription models. We're seeing the rise of, again, maybe not loot boxes, they're actually coming down, but in-app purchases in games or even just simulation apps or just very casual apps. We're just seeing a lot of companies get a lot bolder in the ways that they're choosing to try to grab more of your fucking money. And I think that currently, because there's not been huge enough effort to stop that at its base, look at how many games just have dog shit in-game monetization. I'm not sure that we're out of danger of losing access to reasonably priced games very, very, very soon. And I think that saying just, hey, it's fair in the way that Sakurai is doing right now it doesn't surprise me. He comes from Nintendo. He works with Nintendo. He is from Japan. A very, I guess, at least their companies tend to be pretty fiscally conservative when it comes to like just their general business practices. That's why Nintendo is so motherfucking protective of their IP in every way, shape, and form. But yeah, no, it makes sense from him, but I don't agree with him on that at all in the slightest. So yeah, well, I guess you know what I mean.
食べ歩きするなどな
Well, that's definitely becoming a video.
ています。ゲームの規模や制作物は昔に比べると何十倍何百倍にも大きくなり続けているのに、全体的な価格はそれほど上がっていません。単純にゲームを作るだけでも相当な数のスタッフを支えなければならない上、販促、販売などにも多大なお金が動きます。 こういうことを意識するとやっぱりゲームは安いって思わざるを得ませんね。ところが
And one more thing. That is not to undermine the enormous amount of work and just raw man hours that goes into developing these games, especially AAA titles. But again, if you're making a AAA title from a AAA studio, you have the resources to make sure you get your investment back, at least from the corporate, like the higher up perspective. Like, essentially at that point, the team that you have is, for lack of a better term, a machine. And if you put enough money or resources or just the right controls into the machine, you're going to get the output that you want. There doesn't need to be this conversation. This conversation about whether or not it is reasonable is completely fucking moot. Your intentions are there regardless, companies. You know what you want to get out of this. So you're going to make sure that it is properly advertised, is properly tailored, and that the right time and energy go into the right things to get what you want. There's a fair overall balance there between all of that going on in the company end and the consumer buying the game at the store.
もっと安くてお得な娯楽が出てきました。それは他でもないサブスクリプションサービスのことです。こんなにたくさんなものが楽しみ放題ですと。まあ消費者にとってはいい時代ですが、制作者にとってはどうでしょうね。制作コストが確保できた喜びも過去の作品と合わせて競争する苦しみもあろうかと思います。サブスクリプション自体は映画とかだけのくくりではありません。ゲームのサブスクもありますから。ただ、
God, imagine a world where people could just make fucking games without, like, for not to sound like a goddamn motherfucking commie, but like, imagine a world of game developers unrestricted by, I guess, economic demands or economic needs to fill from the companies from the publishers that they work for. Like, imagine just a place with no need for that kind of dynamic, just games for the sake of being games. That'd be a beautiful thing, wouldn't it?
は無料であっても遊ばれないものです。ぜひ遊びたいと思うものや応援したいものは躊躇なく購入し、
Just wait till ChatGPT.
それをプレイして制作を支えてやってください。
Just wait till ChatGPT can just code the game. Dude, you don't want to start me on that shit. I've actually been experimenting with that a little bit, just like here and there, trying to understand how to use that as like a casual little Jarvis search engine kind of thing. Nigga, what the fuck? That thing is terrifying. It's so powerful. It is so powerful. I'm actually probably going to use that once I start for real. I'm able to dedicate time to coding projects. Like, just do this for me. And it sounds like that's kind of standard practice right now for a lot of engineers, so fuck it.
ゲームの効果音にはいろんなものがあります。常に効果音が流れていると言っても過言ではありません。その音を正確にあるいは誇張して表現をすることが多いと思いますが、
Like, why would we ever hire? Yeah! This I do not claim this nigga anymore, I swear to God, but fuck it. Yang Gang. He was right. He was fucking right about automation and shit. This isn't quite, well, no, it's on the path to automation. Like, that does beg a really good question as to, like, what are, not just specific to games, but just what is the future of just easy access to, hey, an AI just does all this shit for you. What are the implications of that? Because as it stands right now, we are not prepared to answer that question. And at least not answer that question in order to fairly and ethically come up with a solution to that. The likelihood of people remaining exploited despite a need for this labor being drastically reduced is ridiculously high. But, you know, whatever.
についてはよく考えなければなりません。例えば歩行の音と剣を空振りする音、どっちも小さそうですが、どちらを優先したらいいでしょうね。ゲームには非常に多くの音があり、また該当する動作を模して作られているので判断に困ることもあろうかと思います。私からのアドバイスとしては、音の優先度や大きさはプレイヤーに大きく関係するものをより大きくするという考え方が合っていると思います。
No!
スマブラを例にとって解説しようと思います。ただ、細かい交換を省略し、ざっくりと。音量を一番大きくすべきは撃墜の音です。撃墜した場合も撃墜された場合も駆け引きや勝敗を結果づける大きなイベントなので、これは一番大きく演出します。最重要。次は
God damn it. The Kingdom Hearts window shot itself again. Okay, no, we got it. I'm shrink it a little more. Okay, we got it. We got it.
トーンなど相手に当てたとき、当たった
Is there a way to... No, there's not. Okay, let me quit while I'm ahead. I'm going to move this back where it was. There we go. Okay. Maybe.
とき、これは自身の振る舞いの結果がダイレクトに返ってくる瞬間ですから、ちゃんと演出します。ジャストシールドなども同じ程度。次は必殺技の効果音など、ヒットではなく普通に打ったとき、個性際立つ特徴的な技を繰り出すわけですから、相応に目立つようにします。もちろん技の強さや性質によって実際の音質はまちまちです。ボイスも必殺技と同程度が妥当ですが、明快にしゃべると効果音よりよく目立つので、バランスを取る必要はあります。爆発などはヒットと必殺技の中間くらいかなと。ただ大きいものはより引き立てます。次に回避やシールド受け、崖つかまりなど何らかの条件で発動する動作のうち狙った効果が出るものです。次に攻撃の空振り。
That's really cool, having the sound to confirm that you did it.
ボタンを押した操作結果なのである程度は引き立てます。なお弾き入力をするダッシュなどもこのぐらいかなと。次にちょっとした移動に伴う動作、ジャンプや着地などです。着地などはリアクションなのでジャンプよりは大きめ。着地も奥が深く、服装やブーツ素材などによって個別に作り変えています。なんとクラウドの衣装による着地音の差もあったりして、いいスピーカーで聞き分けられます。最後に歩行など、これも操作の結果なので、ちゃんと演出します。対戦中はほとんど聞こえないかもしれませんが、ちゃんと個性がついており、ファイターが増えるたびに作り変えチェックしています。足音のようなものは音にばらつきを演出すること。同じ音が連続で並ぶと機械的になりすぎます。なお歩行は 3D ゲームならもっと優先度を高くして良いのではないでしょうか。あんまり聞こえないゲームが多いのだけど、ホバー移動のように感じられ、少し物足りなくは感じています。まあ歩行って結構めんどくさいですけどね。アトリビュートとかマテリアルとか言いますが、地面の質によって歩行音や着地音を変えなければなりません。だけど、本物らしいことが確かな手応えを生むので、ちゃんと頑張らざるを得ないですね。
So why do I have Kingdom Key on?
効果音の
I actually might check this playlist
そ
because
のゲームでの重要度、特にプレイヤー
just for the sake of time, because I want to watch all these. Not to cop out, I am committed, but like, fuck me. Hold on. But at the same time, a lot of these are just going not too in detail about things, but I wanted to talk about more things like, you know, the things. That's not it. That's not it either. What happened to the playlist? Oh, it's gone. Okay, hold on. Yeah, I had to go back here then. Yeah. All right, so we were at North Inside Game Athens. Too much of this, right? Okay, yeah. All right, I think moving forward, I'm just going to select some of these directly, just for the sake of time. I may end up watching a lot of them, but... Or do I want to? Yeah, I think I want to do that. All right, yeah. I'll start with this one.
どうしたらゲーム業界に入れますかという質問は昔も今も非常に多いです。特に何の職種も想定しておらず、漫然と好きなことを職業にしたいなぁと考えている場合が多いような気がします。それを私は甘いなんて思いません。誰もが最初がそうですから。私自身もゲーム作りを仕事にできるなんて思っていませんでしたし。アーティストとかコンポーザーなどの専門職は別として、ゲームの職に就くための最短あるいはほぼ唯一の方法を教えます。ズバリ自分でゲームを作ってみることですね。昔と異なり現在はいろんな手段があります。Unity なり、Unreal Engine なり、C なり、JavaScript なり、なんならグラフィック言語系でもスクールでも構いません。
So,
とにかく自身でゲームを作ってみる。
So I'm not bitching about this, but I do wonder, just from like an accessibility standpoint, how do we bridge the gap between, or not, maybe not bridge the gap, how do we make it so that way people who have the potential to be excellent game developers are able to be introduced to things like game engines or programming languages, or just even having access to the technology to do these, to use them? How do we give them access to these things for the first time without them seeming like complete unrealistic mountainous challenges? There is a very huge divide between people that are able to just kind of not necessarily just pick up and learn a language. Like, for everybody, it takes a set amount of time and effort for sure. But I feel like there's an enormous amount of people that look at this entire world of art and see something like, oh, I have to program in C or JavaScript. Fuck that. Like, they see that and think it is completely, entirely unrealistic. And it involves, like, to get them to that point would require like getting people to learn a lot of fundamental skills. There's probably people that would, in this hypothetical, have just be seeing a computer for the first time or just learning how to use it for a first time, and being able to get them from the very bottom all the way up to a capable developer at the simplest level, just to be able to put Pong in to a random engine, is like, that is a really big task to do, and it's one that no one really asks about, but it's also one that matters, like, at least to me. Like, I've wanted to get into game development since I was a child, and I had computer access, but I am also like disabled in a handful of ways, and being able to understand these concepts as a kid was really fucking hard. There was no class available to teach it to me. Google resources helped to a certain extent, but not really, and I wasn't able to really stick to them very well. And like, if that's all there is, then so be it. I just have to figure it out if I really want to figure it out. But to a lot of other people, to a lot of people in general, I feel like the resources to being able to access this field are just not really there. It's just, hey, here's the tools. Here's a hammer and a screwdriver and a drill. Not going to tell you what they're for. Not going to tell you if they're meant to put holes in walls or smash shit, but it's there. Have fun with them, I guess. I want to take an approach to trying to answer those questions more specifically. I think that could be really useful for people, but all in due time, I guess.
仮にプランナー志望であったとしても、プログラム的な考えは必ず必要になります。また、ゲームを作るときにどこが困難でどう解消したらよいかなど学べること、経験を積めることは山ほどあります。一番最初に作るものは何かのゲームの真似でも構いません。真似していても作れるだけ偉いですから。もし一つのゲームを満足いくまで作ったら、誰かにホイッと遊ばせてみてください。友達にプレイしてもらうのも良いし、フリーで配ったり。
Here's a question: why are we concerned about game dev as if it's not another industry? You know, trying to bridge capital. I mean that in the case for software engineers as well. Like, are game developers not a subclass of software engineers? Like, I'm speaking about game developers because like this is a thing from Sakurai, but like when I mentioned things like engines in JavaScript and C, like that would of course apply to broader programming in general and bridging that gap as well. Or anything involving computers. Game design and science are just as common as a major, and yeah, it's a common major. It's a common major, yes. Like in terms of having access to that, I'm saying that like for people that will never go the fuck to college, like you don't need a high level education or a formal education to create a game. Anybody can create a game. Anybody can create software. Like in theory, like what I'm talking about is the potential that exists. Like people can do it if exposed to it reasonably. Like if I guess you can say it's a moot question. Like, well, yeah, that's potential. Like, you know, it's hypothetical. Yes, but I feel like there are like in the same way how. If I'm watching like Nick Jr., like the little spin-off channel for kids on Nickelodeon back in like early 2000s, and I'm casually watching TV and all of a sudden Go Diego Go, Dora the Explorer, Ni Hao Kai Lan, or there's a bunch of other stuff. I have a very younger sister. I know what these cartoons are. And it's like and like in those shows, right, you get exposed to little nuggets of like the Spanish and Chinese language that people just kind of carry with them. That is one example of how a very, very, at least introductory core of a certain important component of people's education, multiculturalism, language learning, etc. That is a example of just how that is incorporated in like our broader just kind of culture. Like we have things in place to educate even small kids about these important aspects that they're going to be encountering later in life, right? That is what I'm describing is a very small example out of like many. My point is that in the same way how a show like that can be an introductory point for someone to learn a language or learn about another culture, is the same way how there could be other things in place. I don't know how to describe it, but there could be other things that like get somebody to see a game for the first time and be like, wow, or see a computer for the first time and be like, or see a website and be like, wow, I want to learn how to make these. We show websites and apps, we use them, we play games, we do these things just casually, but in terms of creating a point for people to enter and actually engage with them is very, very small. We have the space for that now. Like when I was a kid, we didn't have things like coding guides and journals and stuff like that. Like, we didn't have those early educational resources. They exist now because we live in a more technologically advanced world. But in terms of game development specifically, I feel like there's kind of an extra, I feel like personally, there's kind of an extra step needed there to make that connection between, I guess, separating game development from software development. Like, there's a thing called game theory. Like, there is like actual there's kind of an overarching thing that's separating games from software development. That's what I was trying to point out. But regardless, just being able to see JavaScript and have people not freak the fuck out over it, or see something like Unity and open it and see it with curiosity rather than being like, I can't do anything with this. What? It just shows how little general computer literacy there is, at least here in this country, but across the world, really. And I'm not saying that it's like a diss to people that don't know how to use it, but it's like, if you're living on a farm somewhere and by the stroke of God you end up going into a city and you're exposed to technology and computers that you've never really seen before, this is a wild hypothetical, but it's like, it'd be really cool if you had the means to enter this new technologically advanced world with guidance and not just have to be thrown into the water in order to understand it even vaguely. We have that to a very limited extent. I think it'd be very cool to have that with coding especially. Your baseline point to software engineering in general. Top 5 tech companies spend the last decade pouring millions into the job market for computer science folk. 1 second. You mean by like bolstering things like the STEM initiative, right? Like in schools, or just like whatever the case, even if it's not just STEM, like just flooding whatever educational resources or just whatever they have to do to get more people in. Yes. I think what I'm saying is that that's not enough. I think that those efforts will get That might do more than I think. I think you are on something with that. Bolstering STEM, month of code stuff, Code Academy, Khan Academy, whole thing has been done. It's that, I think that's my point. It's been done for those that know to even go to those resources specifically. What about someone that doesn't know how to use the internet properly? Like we can say all day, like, we're in the age of the internet, we're in the age of technology and whatnot. But the reality is, at least when I go to work, when I'm walking down the street, when I'm talking to people and see people using their phone, the amount of like actual, like, legit computer literacy to the point where I could teach myself, or not even teach myself, but to the point where I could navigate myself to the resources needed to understand how to start, I think that is still really, really low. I don't think that's where it needs to be still, even with getting a bunch of people into coding in the way that we have been in the past bunch of years. Now we're hitting the hardest part of educational theory. How do you get someone who doesn't know how to know? How do you get someone who doesn't want to know to know? Yes, this is my shit. And that is the fundamental here, and that's where I think, like, the wall is in terms of how far it can be talked about. Yes, they do apply to literally everything. What I'm trying to describe is a specific, it's a specific disconnect though. Like, cause this is the one situation that I can think of where, like, yes, you have to want to know to get to the thing, but at the same time, it's right there. Like, I think that's the part that bugs me, is that, like, I'll put it this way. Would you say that to how do I word it? It's like, can that be said to anything outside of technology? Like, yes, you're saying these questions apply to literally everything they do. There is a fundamental point of educational theory where it's like, if someone doesn't want to learn, or like if someone is incapable of learning it in this way, how do we switch it around? Yes, but for one, in the case of computers, I think that that's kind of uniquely, it's kind of a uniquely poisoned well. So, hold on. My sole take as just a guy in the chat is this: let people live life and make living life more accessible. People start doing things based on what they say. Not everyone will do everything or say everything. No, that I understand. That I understand. It's like, oh my God, there's so much that goes into it. 8 billion people, something that haven't been done before. That's the thing, though, bro. Like, something was done that hasn't been done before. I think this is where I'm getting at. Being in this technologically advanced ass world in the first place is a brand new thing. That's the point I'm trying to get at. Like, at no point in human history have we had the means to have such precise control over what machinery or tools can do for us, from even just an analog angle. Just being able to like being able to hit a rock with a hammer was a revolution in technology that affected the entire fucking species. We're in the information age, bro. Like, I feel like we're seeing what this will eventually turn into with just the start of some of the crazy shit we're starting to accomplish with a little bit of high tier like research and resources. I'm going into like crazy like conceptual engineering shit right now, but like being able to like, I don't know. I just feel like there's an expected universal understanding that should be coming from this. Not obviously not overnight. It would be a gradual thing, but like, I feel like technology in itself and advancing it is kind of part of what our nature is, fundamentally. And I feel like being able to navigate computers, programming, all these kinds of things, really is a part of that. We just don't see it that way. And I think that looking at it from the game angle, one more for the last time, then I'll read the comment in full because I don't want to keep off tracking myself. But it's like this specific medium, going at like software, gaming, etc. But this specific medium is something that, case in point, would give everybody access to the hammer. Right now, what we have here is a gigantic hammer, a gigantic stone wheel. And we have people that know how to use this stone wheel. We have people that don't. We have people that never will, and that's fine. What I'm getting at is that the more people know how to use the stone wheel, the further we fucking go. And with the game shit, it's like games are just a specific expression of using the tool. The more you're able to master a tool, regardless of the tool that you're using, the more you're able to accomplish feats with it. And I think that it'd be really cool if we could get more people to see that, if nothing else, just not be afraid of the tool. That's the part that bugs me. People think that it is impossible to use the tool. It's just a tool. All right, going back to you. With game dev, it's the same thing as someone who makes fluid dynamics their whole life. You can't know how that works. You just can't be literate in the thing from jump. Yes. Of course you can't be literate of the thing from jump. It's the human desire and law of learning that someone will find out how to do that and try living life in these massive numbers of species will leave people doing it. Like, yes, no, I'm not saying it won't happen. It will. Like, people are going to gradually get that understanding. It's just, I think we're thinking on the same page now, because like what I'm thinking is, again, like broader, like too many people, law of large numbers, like people are going to develop and further these technologies over time just by nature. It's going to happen. I'm just thinking about if I were to splay all that out on a timeline and we're like right here, like right at the very start of it, what does this point look like? What are the small incremental changes that apply to the broader population? What are these incremental changes that are going to lead people to a conclusion where these tools and their utilization becomes more normalized and free of like fear from people? What do those steps look like? Not saying that I can reasonably control it. Fuck no, I'm just one nigga. But like, it's interesting to think about how technology transforms in front of us, and how that contributes overall to the story of how people get to the point where there is a much broader comfort with these kinds of things. Believe it or not, this is not a tangent. This is actually what I was casually thinking about in trying to, like, I don't know, explain that. I know that was like off the bar. I might post this too. I don't know if people will get it, but fuck it. I'm trying to get people that see it from my angle, but or that were willing to see it from my angle. But like, I don't know. I want people to not be scared of these things, at least not like I used to be. Because even now I struggle with trying to open a fucking editor just to try and experiment with shit. But I don't know, man. It shouldn't take everybody as much struggle as it has me to be able to be comfortable in looking at these things as they are. I want people to have better access to these things. That's all.
で、プレイしてもらったら、その反応を見て反省すべき点を改善していくなり、次を作り始めて経験を生かすようにしてください。制作物にある程度の手応えが得られたら、ゲーム会社に先行書類と一緒に送ってみましょう。この際、少しぐらい、応募要件から外れていても構わないと思います。良いゲームを作れる人材はメーカーも喉から手が出るほど欲しいですから。ただ、その時に送るゲームは単なる稀だと厳しいです。どこかしら光るオリジナリティを加えましょう。どのようにゲームの楽しさを加えるのかとか、発想法などについてはこの番組で一つずつ紹介していくので、今後も参考にしていただければ幸いです。ゲームを作りたいと思う人はとんでもなく多いです。どこかで出し抜くようにしたいですね。もしゲーム会社に入れれば晴れてプロの仲間入りですね。だけどそれとは逆にメーカーに入らず一人あるいは少人数で、制作を続ける。
I mean, like, how more accessible can you get with the literal most sandbox tool ever created and given to man since fire? Nothing is more blank slate than do what you want than coding. That is a very good point. Going back to Minecraft, when you jump into Minecraft, they try to teach you how to make table, but you really can do so much more. No, that's a really good point, actually. How much more accessible can you get than the literal most sandbox tool? Like, you can yeah, that's a good point. You can code Minecraft to Minecraft. Everything is done with code. No, that is really true. Well, I guess that like goes into like that whole meme about like if you leave a monkey on a computer long enough, it'll type out the Declaration of Independence or some stupid shit like that. Like, the infinite sandbox tool is what we're fucking with. And again, the process of getting people to fuck with it more is just letting people continue to fuck with it over time. And we're going to see what that results in anyway. I guess what I'm pointing out here is that going from hammers and stones and shit, well, not just hammers and stones and shit, but like going from relatively primitive tools to the infinite sandbox tool is a pretty big jump. I think that just fundamentally is a really big jump. Like, computers are like, okay, let's try to put this in perspective. I was born just before the 21st century, right? In just like when was the internet invented? The internet was invented in like 75 or some shit, right? Or 60, something like that. Even forget that. Just being able to have computers commercially in like late 70s, 80s, 90s, that changed a fucking lot, obviously. And that continued to change as it grew faster and faster into the 2000s and 2010s. But I do think that, like, again, for one, it's a relatively short amount of time for that much of advancement since then. Like, we went from computers having to take up entire fucking rooms, if not buildings, to a computer probably, several hundreds times more powerful than one of those, literally just sitting in our pockets every single day in the span of less than 50 years, if I'm not mistaken. Less than 40 years, if I'm not mistaken. And if we're going from no smartphone to smartphone, less than 20. So that by itself is just very stupidly fast development of already powerful tools. It's like an exponential growth thing. Orders of magnitude more powerful. Right. It's fucking ridiculous. Ridiculous. So it's like being able to deal with order. 10 to the big number. Yeah. So like being able to keep up with tools that are advancing that much while keeping to our same fundamental functions. Like when people were still casually adopting technology more and more as it grew, like they were still using the same basic functions, which have mainly been communication, word processing, talking about mainly computers, communication, whether that be through email or text or IM or whatever, word processing and coding, web browsing, as that got better over time. Like people were doing very fundamental, like simple things en masse that would eventually become their own subcategories of things to do or ways to create and just do things with the tech, right? So that's how that kind of started off. That change in the technology, it growing more and more powerful, still happened, but relatively speaking, the fundamental usage of that technology stayed fairly slow. Like people are not advancing their own personal use. I also think you've beaten a total of 5 heartless and nobody throughout the stream. Sora is tapping his foot like Sonic when you let go of the controller. Suck my dick, nigga. But people's use of that, the game is small for a reason. We're talking to the Sakurai. Fuck you. So, anyway, the growth of that technology and the growth of people's use of it did not grow at the same pace. The technology obviously grew way the fuck faster, enormously the fuck faster. And I think that dynamic there, that the fact that technology is drastically outpacing the rate at which people can use it, I think that specifically is a brand new phenomenon, because when we had technological advances beforehand, they were not at fucking orders of magnitude increases of power from each other. They were just incremental, generally speaking, outside of like really big breakthroughs. This goes into all forms of technology. And talking about computers and coding and the infinite sandbox specifically, have people really had the time to adjust to that by itself being a thing before the advancements came along in the 21st century? I don't think we have. Just fucking pretend we're in the year 2000 for a second. Right now, people are just now getting home computers as like a mainstay. Cell phones are just now becoming a thing with the big brick and the gigantic ass antenna, right? Even in that year, just 40 fucking years ago, in like the 60s, we had like nothing. Like people were still like we had like cars, we had like cool things like that, but in terms of like literal planet changing technology that affects every aspect of everything that we do in life, we didn't have that shit. Fucking when was the light bulb invented? Before that, we were operating on fire. That was only a couple hundred years ago. Like whatever that time span is, it's not that far behind. We were dealing with technologies that would get put in place. We use them, we come up with advancements with them, and they adapt over time. But we have not had anything like this. And I think that people have an innate understanding of that based off the backgrounds that we come from or whatever. And there's a lack of willingness to engage because of that. Can people overcome that fear and just kind of hop into the field regardless? Absolutely. People do it all the time. But I think that having that understanding of this is where the jump is, this is where we are, and y'all just kind of, yeah, sorry, it's a lot, but we kind of have to hold your hand through it. I think that being able to explain that principle of it might be useful as opposed to just dropping the infinite sandbox in somebody's face. Metaphorically. But yeah, heartless to kill, I guess.
もしも一人で作ったら売り上げは独り占めです。給料をもらうよりもその方が絶対合ってるっていうような人は結構います。小規模でも良いので、ゲームを自ら作ることはゲームを職にするために不可欠です。自らのゲーム制作にチャレンジしてそこまで至らない場合は、もともと見込みがなかったと諦めることができるかもしれません。とにかくゲームを作ってみたら分かることは山ほどあります。地道な仕事が続くかと思いますが、まずはやってみましょう。
Alright. Damn it. Okay, let's skip this next one. I may watch a couple more and then switch to game feed main for a little bit, possibly. I actually need to check something real quick. Okay, cool. All right, we did. Okay, don't need jump physics. Don't need Sakurai's cat. There's the melee video. Yeah, I'll do that too. Oh, and the Fiend's Cauldron afterwards? Okay, yeah, I do want to check that out.
今までの企画コンセプトの回をご覧いただければ、私のゲームの企画はロジカルに考案されているということがよくわかると思います。大体のものが課題があり、それを解決するという企画になっている。しかし、スマブラデラックスのコンセプトは非常にシンプルです。それはズバリ、スマブラを飛躍的にパワーアップする。
Alright, dude. Thanks for coming.
完成したスマ
Enjoy
ブ
your
ラデラック
raid.
スと初代スマブラを比較するとよくわかると思うのですが、ファイター、ステージ、グラフィック、エフェクト、モーション、サウンド、ボリューム、プレイ感覚、アイテム、おまけなどが全てパワーアップしています。これは任天堂64しか知らない当時の人の目には衝撃的に映ったことと思います。任天堂64はマシン性質的にも開発環境的にもかなり厳しいものがありました。何しろ初代スマブラの場合、1ファイターが300ポリゴンぐらい、3人以上対戦時には200ポリゴンぐらいになります。よくわからない単位だって。 まあ海底用の、格闘的なゲームの中ではおそらく最低に近い非常に厳しい水準でしょうね。そりゃサムスの足とか三角になりますね。ファイターに貼り付けるテクスチャーに至っては 64×64 ドットとか 32×32 ドットぐらいを使っていました。小さい。スマブラデラックスでは、ゲームキューブが使われたため性能がぐーんとアップしました。そして64よりはゲームもはるかに作りやすいです。加えて私としては初めての光ディスクによる開発になります。これにより遅れながらストリーミング再生、つまり生音収録による音楽が使えるようになります。初めてストリーミング再生を起用するにあたりオーケストラを数曲に採用しています。このことがきっかけになって10年間続いたプレススタートを開催したり、自作以降に投入する音楽家さんの共演につながっていきます。 CG ムービーの導入も初ですね。全く休みがなかったため正月休みを返上して絵コンテを描いていました。導入されたおまけ要素の一つにフィギュアというものがあります。ゲーム内に採用できるキャラクターには限度があるけれど、任天堂の歴史を踏まえたさまざまなキャラクターの収集物が集まり、またガイドされるというのは大きな喜びになるだろうと思い導入しています。この制作にはクリーチャーズさんなど本制作チーム外の方々にもご協力いただいています。
This is not what I thought it was going to be. I thought he was going to fucking
talk
talk about wave dashing, maybe.
自問自答や他の人からの問いはいつもありますが、ゲームに限らず多くの作品は他にないということで、できている必要があると考えています。その最大の特徴をフルに生かすべく力を入れて取り組みました。まあもちろんいつも力は入れているのですが、スマブラデラックスが発表あるいは発売される頃には世界の期待も膨らんでいました。それに十分に応えられるものにはなったと思うのですが、いかがでしょうかって言っても当時の人しか分かんないですよね。スマブラデラックスはゲームキューブのソフトの中では一番の売り上げとなっております。はい、次の企画コンセプトのカテゴリーはカービィのエアライドのお話です。
Alright, I don't see there's any more controversial ones. Thought I could do all this, can't do it, not gonna lie to myself. No one's here, not gonna judge myself. Sorted. Okay.
ディレクターもしくはゲームデザイナーになりたいという人はもちろん山ほどいます。もちろんどうやったらディレクターになれるのかという質問はいつも多いですね。私自身のことは置いといて、さまざまなゲームを作った有能ディレクターに共通する点はあまりありません。知り合いいっぱいいますけど、多くのディレクターをしていますが、それぞれで全く違うことをしているんですね。個性豊かです。だけどそれでもあえて彼らに共通すべき点を挙げるならば、何かの感覚に敏感で人とは違うものを見ているというように感じます。話を聞いていると私が全然気がつかない見解や考えを持つディレクターが多いです。一つのものを見るとき、あるいは流すとき、ささやかな何かを見逃さずに拾ったり、人と異なる何かを感じることができる人、そういったことは思ったよりもディレクターとしては大事な要素のようです。映像、ゲーム性、動き、物語、人の感じ方など全て。
What the fuck was that?
だからディレクターは少しぐらい変わり者であることは良いように思います。 解をされないように言いたいんですが、ある程度のバランス感覚も必要であることは申し添えておきます。多分自身から発する太いアウトプットみたいなものも必要なのだろうと思います。人に対して会話をすることが絶対的に苦手なディレクターは、少しはいるかもしれませんが、あんまり見かけませんね。自らが感じたことや思うこと、それを作品の個性に乗せ、他とは異なるゲームを作る。ディレクターはゲームがそうであるように、個性やその人にしか持ち得ないものが問われる仕事だと思います。規模や振り幅の大小はもちろんあるのでしょうが、今私はこのように感じています。ディレクターは個性です。おばあちゃんおばあちゃん、なんで敵を倒すの？それは敵を倒してパワーアップするためさ。なんでパワーアップするの？もっともっと強い敵を倒せるようになるからさ。とか言ったら、身も蓋もないですけれども、ゲームには一部のストーリー主導型ゲームやパズルゲームなどを除いて、かなり多くの作品に倒すべき敵が出現します。ゲームをやらない人にとっては、傍から見て心配になるのではないかなと思うほど敵を倒しまくる。これ本当に必要なのでしょうか？当たり前のようになっていることは理由があるからそうなっています。しかし疑問を持つことは良いことかと思いますので、掘り下げてみます。一部を除く一般的なゲームはストレスをかけ、それを解放することで楽しさを得ます。障害がある。障害はつまりストレスです。
Oh shit! It's the thing I fucking said! I didn't even watch the fucking video yet! Huh! It's the fundamental obstacle thing. Holy shit! I guess I'm right.
これは解消。
Well, I don't know. I can't. Like that's exactly how I fucking defined it in like my other John. I didn't see this shit. Huh.
シンプルにスッキリする瞬間です。
I wasn't bullshitting. I just
あるいは経験で強化される。
didn't expect him to say the same shit.
敵に対する期待もできるし、より高い満足感も出ます。それによってさらなる障害を排除しやすくなる。これは進展、つまり先に進めるということ。ストレス、解消、成長、進展。最初のストレス以外の3つにはゲームとしての楽しみがあります。それらは最初のストレスがなければ成り立ちにくいので、やっぱり障害は必要そうですね。例えばアンダーテールは敵を倒さなくてもクリアはできるようになっていますが、ちゃんとストレスはかけてきます。
Ain't that the fucking
クリア
truth?
の場合、直接的な排除をすることができなくて、ストレスはさらに増大するかも。で、増したストレスが解消されるのは格別ですし、それをすることでより良い進展に対する期待もかかります。こういったストレスを司るのは直接的な敵やゲームシステムばかりとは限りません。例えばアドベンチャーゲームで主人公やその友達に危機が訪れる。これはストレス。それを何とかして解消したり先に進めるようにすることは、それなりの楽しみや喜びがあります。コストを支払うのもストレスと解消。支払いがあることで溜め込みが楽しくなるという側面もあります。無限に資材だけが増えて使い道も何にもない採掘ゲームがあってもしょうがないですよね。結論としては、ゲームとして敵を抜くことはできるのだけど、敵に該当するストレスと解消は必要。できれば進展、成長は積極的に取り入れられるゲームデザインにした方が良いですね。
Ain't that some shit? Yeah, I'm probably gonna talk a fucking lot about Undertale on this channel eventually. Okay, All right, that was enough from the Sakurai grab bag, I think. That was a good prompt for like a lot of shit, but I think it might be time to venture out a little bit into something else. I wonder what that'll be. I don't want to stop streaming yet, but I don't know what to do. I guess I could switch to Kingdom Hearts on stream primarily. Actually, no. I think I need to, for one, get this VOD ready for editing, and then take some time for myself. I'll probably play some Overwatch and chill for a bit. But this was a good stream. I think I don't know. I'll come up with something to do next time. I think I do want to make a habit of like watching something and like breaking it down. I think that might be my main style of just kind of getting these streams started for a little bit, and then I will, I guess, engage with whatever conversation comes about. But I'll be working on some videos in the meantime. Probably getting hopefully something ready out by the weekend, God willing. But if not, I'm definitely going to be working on some stuff for a little bit. But hopefully I'll be back on stream. If not tomorrow, maybe Friday. Definitely some more on the weekend, and we'll see what I can crank out before then. But to everyone who showed up tonight, thank you very much, even if it was just for a little bit. I'll be back around. And yeah, everybody take it easy. Have a good night.